Listen to your guests. Guests are usually your best resources for improving your property. Their comments, suggestions, and questions can be things that take your place up a notch in the eyes of others. It is one reason I encourage our guests to leave us suggestions in the private feedback. That feedback has led to vast improvements along the way. Here are a few examples. Promote the side benefits. We have a rather large yard, especially for the city. We have 3 houses sitting on 7 lots, all in a contiguous 250-foot line along one side of the street. Originally, there were 4 more houses, but they degraded and were torn down years before we bought the property. "Is this yard all yours?" one guest asked, staring at the enormous space. "It's amazing." I had been in the middle of weeding a section when she and her husband arrived. I told her it was, and she said, "Why don't you have photos of it in the description?" Well, she had me there. Why didn't I have pictures of it in the description? I immediately added photos of the yard to both listings. In the decades since we purchased our property, we have planted at least 20 fruit trees, dozens of fruiting bushes, perennial herbs, roses, asparagus, hundreds of strawberry plants, and so much more. We have dug and installed a large pond, added a gazebo, and even a playhouse, and enclosed trampoline for our children and guests to use. Combined with a dozen brick pathways I've installed over the years, it's a great place to walk around and enjoy. No matter the time of year, something is blooming or growing. As simple as it sounds, I hadn't thought of it as a selling point, but it certainly was, and it took a guest's query to make me think of it. No slip and slide here. One of the major draws of Cottage West is a vintage clawfoot bathtub prominently displayed in the photos. It was a heck of a find, and I've received many comments on it. However, it's tricky to get in and out of, as one guest kindly let me know in his private feedback. I immediately added an anti-slip mat to the inside of the bathtub. It hangs on the side, so that people wanting to take a bath instead of a shower don't have to have it in there if they don't want. I also added a non-slip absorbent bath mat to the outside of the tub. Since then, I've had several guests comment that the bath mats have helped. A win-win. Even an RV needs this. When installing the curtains for the Hedy Lamarr Airstream, I wasn't thinking about light-blocking curtains. Not at all. I had found the perfect pin-up girl fabric in a thin cotton fabric with a cream background. Our decor is cherry red and cream, so it was perfect, or so I thought. After 2 guests commented on the early morning sun waking them from their slumbers, I knew it was time for an upgrade. I found another pin-up girl fabric, this with a black background, added a lining to make it even more light-proof, and rehung the curtains. Instant success. Guests want to sleep in, especially when they are experiencing a fantastic little getaway in a garden oasis surrounded by a busy city. Think about the kids. Despite having plenty of children of my own, ages ranging from 35 years old to toddler, I had thought little about children when I opened my first STR, Cottage West. In my defense, my vision for Cottage West was as a writing and artist retreat. That vision quickly changed as I learned more and more about who my guests were and what they needed. One of our early guests with small children helped me with that glorious private feedback. She wrote glowingly about Cottage West on the public side of things and gently suggested in the private feedback that a pack-and-play playpen and a high chair be provided. I immediately brought over both and later added a full set of children's dinnerware, plates, bowls, cups, and plastic silverware to my offerings. It made sense, and I was thankful for the suggestion. I have seen many positive comments since on how helpful those items have been for traveling families. Ice, ice, baby. Many times we don't think of things we don't use ourselves. This was never clearer than when I met Denise, a guest who has returned multiple times to Cottage West. One of her children has regularly recurring appointments at a local hospital, and she tells me that Cottage West feels like home. The 3rd time she visited, it was in the middle of winter, whereas the first 2 had been during the summer and early fall, when everything was hot outside and a nice, icy drink was necessary. However, in the winter, when it is bone-chillingly cold, I want warm things, and the tap water is cold enough, so there's no need to add ice to it. I kind of slack off in the winter on refilling the ice trays in Cottage West's freezer. Denise gently suggested I monitor the ice levels in her private feedback. The next time she visited, she grinned at me and said, "You got a new ice bucket," and it was completely full of ice. Guests love it when I respond to their feedback and are pleased as punch when I take their suggestions into account. They feel heard, and that is a powerful thing. Listen to your guests, take what they have to say in, and give them what they want as much as is humanly, logistically, or financially possible. Doing so will build your business and improve your reviews. Guaranteed. Next up, how to identify and avoid problem guests.